Obviously, it's not the most fail-proof mechanism in our brain because some people are good liars, right? But most people are not good liars. Most people, when they lie, when they talk about something they're not confident in, you can easily spot it. If you're constantly influencing people and they're constantly seeing positive results, you will create trust. You will become someone they think highly of. You will become someone who, when you're saying it, it means more to them than someone else. Many times, I know you've absolutely experienced it, people who you've given amazing advice to come back to you a few weeks, months, years later, and telling you that someone else gave them an amazing advice that totally changed their lives, which is exactly the same advice you gave them some time ago. The thing is, they don't even remember you told them that. And if you tell them, but I told you that 2 weeks ago, they'll tell you it's not the same. It is the same. The only difference is who told them. Now, it's not a matter of getting offended. It's simply a matter of understanding your position in front of others. You can understand, you can be aware of how influential you personally are to the different people in your life. Building authority in short-term relationships, for example, like sales meetings, business meetings, so on and so forth, with people who you're not constantly dealing with, comes from 3 layers. The first layer is the environmental or official layer. For example, wearing a suit for a business meeting will create a different level of authority, a different level of trust than wearing a pair of jeans and a t-shirt. You should be appropriate to the setting, obviously. In this place, wearing a suit will create usually the opposite. But dressing business casual, for example, will do a great service. On the other side, wearing shorts and flip-flops will take you to the other way. So it's about the way you dress. It's about the way you talk, your body language. It's also about your job description or your job title. For example, people who have a PhD automatically are considered to be more trustworthy. If someone is a CEO of a company, is a president of an organization, he's been elected as the most something of a something journal. So these are all official or environmental ways, layers, that can add to your trust, to your authority. This is why for many of us, this is one reason that for many of us, influencing the people who we're closest to, it's the hardest. One of my teachers used to say that it's very hard to try to influence your uncles and your cousins because they still picture you as a 3-year-old kid with his nose dripping. That's a powerful image. When a kid with his nose dripping is going to tell you what to do, it's hard to accept. Okay? So obviously it takes time, and you can build those relationships with a win-win situations because those are relationships that last longer, and you can totally establish authority this way. But if you one day decide you want to influence someone out of the blue, it will be quite difficult. Okay? If you are the boss of another person, if he's your employee, then it will automatically be easier because you are an authority. If you're speaking in front of an audience and someone in the audience asks a question, it's usually easier because you're automatically an authority from environmental or official reasons. That's very easy. So first of all, some of those things are hard to create. For example, a PhD, not so easy to create. But dressing better might be easy to create, if you like it, if you choose it. The second layer is the social. having other people trusting you. If I can show, if I can express in various forms, let's say from telling stories or showing like text messages or putting like testimonials on my website, that other people are trusting me, then it's easier for the person who knows that to also trust me. It's like a shortcut that our brain likes doing. If we know that we cannot trust someone, then we won't trust him. But if we don't know, if we're unsure whether we should or shouldn't trust him, we're usually trying to find evidence to whether other people are trusting him. It's like our brains being lazy, saying if everybody is doing it, it's okay. So I should and could create social reasons, right? For example, in my office, on one wall, I have all my professional certificates. It's not because I get high on them. It's because I am aware to the fact that for many people, it creates a feeling of certainty. It makes them feel more secure, makes them trust easier. And on a second wall, I have all sorts of notes I got from students and people I work with and organizations and stuff like that, thanking me for my extremely amazing service. So I have the official layer and the social layer. The third one might be the easiest or the hardest, depends for who, is the personal. The personal. If I trust me, and I can express it, it will make others trust me as well. How can they know if I trust myself? Well, basically the way it's put out is the way I speak, my body language, how I react to certain questions, to certain topics, how comfortable I am in my own skin. This is something that's very hard to fake. So if you don't have it, working on it might not be the easiest thing to do, but it's very worthwhile doing it because it will affect every single area of your life. But it's pretty powerful. It's pretty powerful. And sometimes it might be enough. Even if you don't have anyone else listening to you, even if you don't have any credentials, just by the fact that you yourself are trusting yourself, it might give others the feeling of certainty enough that they can trust you as well. How? It's a lot like the other thing. It's like my brain says, can I trust him or not? And if I would find other people who hate you or distrust you, then usually I won't trust you. It's like this is the second layer, this is the third. But if I don't know, for example, I cannot tell if other people are trusting you or not, then my brain will say, okay, who in this room knows him the best? He does. Then if he knows what he's talking about, then he will behave in a certain way, usually. And if he doesn't know what he's talking about, he's usually going to behave in a different way. Obviously, it's not the most fail-proof mechanism in our brain, because some people are good liars, right? But most people are not good liars. Most people, when they lie, when they talk about something they're not confident in, you can easily spot it. Most people are not aware enough because they never truly learned it in a professional manner, but they can sense it. They can smell it. They can feel it. They won't say his arms were crossed or his leg was moving or the way he touched his pen. They won't notice it like in a conscious way, but in a subconscious way, they'll sense it and then they'll say, something that wasn't feeling right for me. Something that felt not right for me, something like that. And we'll sense it. Not always. Some people are better at it, some people are less. But it's a way. So if I want to influence someone, I want to use as many of those ways to create authority, to create trust. The harder way to do it, but the best way, in my opinion, is to create self-influence. Meaning, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You're going to tell yourself what to do. For most people, adults, the person they give the most authority to is themselves. That's being like psychologically healthy. For kids, many kids have, like, until a certain age, let's say 6, 7, 8, depends who you're asking, the highest authority in their lives is their parents. Then comes the different phase in their lives. When they change it, many parents have challenges in these ages. Because up until now, their kids were considering them as the highest authority. And now the kid wants to be his own highest authority. So most grown-ups, with the exclusion of very dangerous cults or stuff like that, are their own highest authority in their own lives. So if I can show someone or make someone or lead someone to influence himself, to say it himself, to make himself get to the realization I want him to get, if I can make someone understand himself that the best way he can achieve his own values is by doing what I want with my outcome, then I'm on a very strong way, on a very strong path to getting what I decided, what I want, what I'm trying to achieve.